The Politics program is brought to you by Stickers or DIAF. You know, you hear me plug Stickers or DIAF a lot on this show. But what you don't normally hear me say is that we have new stickers available. What? New stickers? New sticker alert. How about you head on over there right now, stickersordIAF.com. Check them out for yourself. They're all done by the amazing and talented Carter Johnson. They are all diamonds, so various different diamond configurations. We got Swamp Thing diamond, a desert diamond, space diamond, VW bus diamond, although I probably shouldn't call that because that's trademarked, and, of course, dinosaur diamond. Man, I just love how these look. I think that they're just the best things we've ever had on there. No disrespect to anybody, any of the other artists, but I just think these are they're so fun. Go ahead and get them yourself. These are our brand new $5 pack. You can get them for $5, man. We make them cheap so you can buy them as you wish. So check it out right now. Stickers or DIAF.com. And we're going to get these in about mid next week. If you get your order in before we get the stickers in, we're going to throw in one of our limited edition Jury in Your House stickers that we made up for the tour a few months ago. So if you want your hand on one of those, then go ahead and grab the pack right now. Stickers or DIAF. And buy The Contender, the game of presidential debate. Hey, we got news here, too. Now, on our store, you want to buy the game? Do you live in a country that ain't America? Well, don't worry. Now we ship to Canada, UK, and Australia. Shipped a bunch out yesterday. Thank you to everybody who has responded across these various ponds to get the game, this little slice of the American election madness in your hands. I'm not going to lie, though. Got a lot of Canada. Got a lot of UK, not a lot of Australia. In fact, I don't know, I'll have to check the Shopify, but I think we're still waiting for our first Australian to get this shipped to them directly. Are you that Aussie? Then head on over to thecontender.us. Well, we'll do something special. And, of course, with either the stickers or the Contender, if you use offer code DIAMOND at the end of your buying experience, I will sign your products. And, of course, by patreon.com/JURY. Support this show. Support my other One Mic show. We have a lot of really amazing opportunities coming up, and this is all because of you guys. So please go ahead and be the ones that I will always run to. Patreon.com/JURY. But hell, enough of talking about the show. What do you say we just go ahead and start it?
Politics. Yes.
Politics. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another edition of the Politics program. My name is Justin Robert Young, and I am... Whoa, what? What's happening right now? Is this real life? What? Oh my... I'm in my own studio. I'm doing the show on Friday. I'm not doing a makeup show. It's not on Thursday. It's Friday. You gotta get down on Friday. We have not over the past month, and now we are home. Does it feel good? Doesn't it feel just like coming home right now? So let me go ahead and dig up in this election. All right, here we go. What did I miss? I've been kind of focusing on it, and then I've been going ahead and trying to do the contender stuff out there in Gen Con, right? Or catching up on everything that's happened, and the election's over. Well, that can't be right. Let me just go ahead and, let me see. Can I mic this better? Can I mic my typing a little bit better? Hold on. Wait a minute. This is going to be very much an audio bit. Yeah. Uh-huh. No. If I go ahead and, yeah. No. See, that can't be. How is the election over already? It's only August 12th. Like, there's a long time. We still got over 75 days until the election. There's no, okay. All right. You want to know what? I swore to you, the listeners and viewers of this show, when I got Trump dead wrong in the primaries. For those of you who are just following us, maybe you've seen me on BitTorrent News. Maybe you, when we got plugged by Apple, you came up on the train now. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Justin Robert Young, and I was a staunch disbeliever of the Trump train. I am one of those media dummies that stood out there on the tracks while the whistling and a clacking was happening just over the horizon saying, no, there's a ceiling. It will all regress to the mean. And we used all of our fancy 12-cent words and then, got ran over by the Trump train. Woo, woo, indeed. So I don't know if I have it in me. I don't know if I have it in me to be that sucker. A law enforcement official number 3 that looks over to one of the main characters and says, I believe that Jason Voorhees is dead. I ain't going to do that. I can't. Like, I don't know if this election's over. But to paraphrase Dave Chappelle, it sure is wearing a "this election is over" uniform. Woo! Normally, and I'm going to still do the pole dance a little bit later a little bit later here. But, all right, here. I'm going to dance around this story because I can't talk about it. I don't think I can talk about it. I probably can't talk about it. I did a thing today that was a pilot for a popular program. I don't know. A popular program is expanding into new programming. You might have heard of it. It's a popular podcast, a very popular podcast. It's also a popular radio show. And they were expanding into new programming, and so I was a trial guest, basically. So they're just going to run through shows the way that they would produce them. And if they include guests, then they need guests. And they need all the attendant technical capacity and back and forth that a guest would do, right? So I was on in some capacity to talk about politics, and we wound up talking about politics. And the hosts were like, hey, look, you got all this stuff coming out here, man. You got all this stuff. Hey, here's what the story of the day is. And I'm going to get into a story that CNN covered last night that absolutely drove me up a wall. I've been watching a lot more CNN lately. And, like, man, is it so much worse than watching professional wrestling. Like, on every level. In fact, I feel like I know more about the state of this race by watching professional wrestling than I do watching CNN. We'll get to that. The host for this pilot says, oh, big story today. Hillary Clinton releases her tax returns. More of her tax returns. Shows that she paid an average rate. The thing that the conservative element of the media has seized on immediately is that she gave 90+% of her charitable donations to ASPCA, PETA, Human Rights Watch, Let's go ahead and take a look at the answers on the board. Number 1, the Clinton Foundation, which that's going to be something that a lot of people can make fun of. I do think that the Clinton Foundation is a potential liability for Hillary Clinton if she were not running unopposed in this election. I think that there's a lot that you could look into there. I think that it's not that it is a problem. It's that it looks like a problem. But again, she's running unopposed this election. I don't know. Isn't that kind of weird that she's running unopposed in this election? I could have sworn that normally what happened is you had two people running against each other. I guess that's crazy this year. Anyway, so I was like, listen, guys, I mean, these tax returns, it's not really a story because Trump's not going to release his. He's already past the point where it would do him the most political damage to say no, which is usually during the primaries. And so now, unless Hillary wants to spend time in political capital building up the mythology that there is something Trump is hiding on the other side of that wall, then it doesn't really make a lot of sense to release or to talk about it even. It's just going to fade as an issue. Now, you may see Clinton do that a little bit because it's become very, very clear that the campaign she is running is, man, Donald Trump's weird, right? She is going to go door to door and shake the hands of everybody in America and just say, man, Donald Trump's weird, right? And she wants nobody else to be a part of this campaign. It's literally just going to be her. She's going to call one person in a battleground state a day and say, man, Donald Trump's weird, right? And the rest of her campaign is going to be like, I don't know, should we do some like fundraising? Nah, man. Hit the bar. Tim Kaine's going to be like, do you want me to like attack Donald Trump? Nah, man. Friday's got half price apps, baby. You go nuts on those Mott sticks. We don't need you. Tim Kaine. Man, has there been a less impactful figure in this election than Tim Kaine? Tim Kaine is just the invisible man. Tim Kaine is getting, you know what I think they're going to use Tim Kaine for? Tim Kaine at some point is just going to be like what a backup basketball player is, like a bench player. Like they're just going to have Tim Kaine just start taking over for Hillary Clinton's speeches like 3/4 of the way through. Like she's going to get, and then she's going to realize, I mean, whatever. Y'all know this. Tim, come on up. And he's going to like stretch out real quick, drink a Gatorade, and then just finish her speech. And she's just going to hit the showers early. Because why does she need to be out there? She's running unopposed. Now I'm joking. She's not really running unopposed. And so let's get back to this pilot that I was doing that I can't talk about and I keep distracting myself from. It's bad enough on a lot of other podcasts where you have a bunch of people and they get on these digressions. It really gives you a window into my brain and my soul when it shows you how easily I can distract myself. So I said, listen, there's only one story today. It ain't about the tax returns. It ain't about whatever Trump said yesterday. It ain't about who's the founder of ISIS. It ain't about nothing. Here's what the story is. 5 polls here. Technically more than that, but 4 polls in 4 battleground states from NBC, the Wall Street Journal, and Marist. Now, these polls, as my memory serves, have been fairly favorable to Clinton in the past. However, they are all good sources, Marist, NBC, and Wall Street Journal. There ain't no slouches among them. I'm going to read you these results, 3 of these results, and then one of them is going to be our poll dance. And you want to know what? I'm just going to read you the head-to-heads here. Colorado, battleground state that could go either way. Colorado, a state that features heavy military voters. There are a lot of really, really liberal elements in Colorado, a lot of real kind of like conservative military families out there. Family values kind of state. State Trump needs to consolidate. It is outside of his base, which is largely working class Americans in the Rust Belt. But he needs to consolidate support out west from those kinds of constituencies. Let's go ahead and take a look. How's he doing? He's down by 14 points. 14 what? Audi. Really? For real? What? Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. You should not be getting blown out by 14 points in a battleground state. That's a Rick Ross. If I were on Trump's team, I would look at that poll and go, all right, well, let's keep moving. How about North Carolina, man? I'll tell you what. He out in Colorado doesn't do so well out in the West, man. Let's get back to his base, East Coast. Donald Trump, somebody who is named prolifically in songs by Puff Daddy, Notorious B.I.G., and the Wu-Tang Clan. He is an East Coast guy. Enough of that Colorado hippie BS. Let's go ahead to a red meat. A red meat. Conservative bastion. How about this big man? Woo! North Carolina. Donald Trump. Yeah, no, Donald Trump's got 39 points in the head-to-head there. Oh, Hillary, she's got 48. Donald Trump's down by 9. All right, you want to know what, man? That's fine. What about Virginia? We were playing the clips earlier to lead us into the show. What happens with Virginia? That's another battleground state. Another one. Yeah, okay, Hillary's up by 13 points there. See, now what I want you people to understand, here is what I want everybody to get. I'm going to joke around and say that Hillary Clinton is running unopposed. I'm going to joke around and say that this election's over. I don't really mean it. A lot of things can happen. But here's what you need to ask yourself. A shrewd campaign, a well-run campaign, a campaign that will turn out its voters on election day. Because here's another remix for people who are just joining us. This is not a partisan show. This is a show dedicated to the science of one tenet of politics. In fact, the golden rule of politics, which is on a predetermined date, get as many people as you can into a booth to press your button. Everything else is in service to that golden rule. So you got to wonder what the effect of some of these polls are going forward, not only to the demoralization to the base, but also considering the fact that Donald Trump is somebody that just last week was still setting brush fires within his own party, whether or not this is the time that people who are on the bubble are being convinced by those that are still never Trump. Whether or not Hillary Clinton's strategy to make conservative voters stay home is working. Because let me ask you this, and I'm going to put this out here. By the way, we got a lot of really cool opportunities that might be coming up for this show. All of them are going to rely on me relying on you guys that much more. You guys have been amazing about sending us email. Take whatever you want out of this. There might very soon be a need for us to get a lot more email. So here's who I want. I want conservative voters who are undecided. Undecided conservative voters. I want you guys to email in and tell me just what's going on in your mind. What are you thinking about right now? Where are you leaning? I mean, email me about anything, no matter where you're at. Because, like, let's say you're in North Carolina. Let's say you're in Virginia. Let's say you're in Colorado. These are states that traditionally should have organized conservative support. And yet, no. Look at Georgia. Georgia right now has their polls trending toward Hillary Clinton. On most aggregate maps, it is a light blue. Kind of like my smart little jacket here. A light blue. Georgia last went to a Democrat in 1992, and before that it was Carter, Bill Clinton, Jimmy Carter. Obama didn't win it the last 8 years in Georgia. Now it's trending. I mean, dig this. With what Hillary Clinton already is going to have by her Democratic birthright in electoral votes, if she wins these 3 states that I was talking about and the one that I'm going to do the pole dance about, she really doesn't have to win other battleground states. Donald Trump could win Ohio. He could win Pennsylvania, which, by the way, is also trending aggressively toward Hillary Clinton. So here's my question, man. And I am just a bumpkin from Davie, Florida. But riddle me this. Where's the ray of sunshine? Where do you look? I mean, when you're talking about double-digit disadvantages in August, like, I don't want to say that this is over, but come on. This might be over. Now, of course, if it is over, it's probably going to be more interesting. Because now we will get a very rare treat. In fact, I don't know the last time that this has happened in American history. We are going to get a live, blow-by-blow autopsy of a major American party. Because, you know that RNC that Trump's been taking big dumps on all throughout the primary process? You know, all those, like, old lion party leaders that have kind of turned against him? The Mitt Romneys of the world. George Bush's of the world, Bush families of the world, Koch brothers, Paul Ryan, John McCain, that whole gamut. If Donald Trump looks like he's getting blown out, who do you think is in charge of the party the day after either the party loses faith in him or the day after Election Day? Owl them. Owl them. Normally, there's a very elegant mothballing of people who lose presidential contests. Oh, no. This is going to be about as subtle as a 3 a.m. ejection from Luke's Tavern on University Drive. It is going to be so unsubtle. It is going to be so loud and so ugly. There will be personal mudslinging. You are already seeing, here's one of my other favorite things. You are already seeing just insane leaks from this election. You are seeing, I mean, like, when that book Game Change came out, one of the greatest things about it was that it was just extremely well sourced. And those kinds of books had existed in the past, documentaries had existed in the past, but the idea that you could have on-the-record sourcing that would give you full, like, quote, kind of quotes like real blow by blow sort of stuff. That was remarkable. But we're getting that almost every day. Like right now, we are way up inside the turmoil within the Republican Party. We are way up within the turmoil in the Trump campaign. If Paul Manafort farts loud enough, it is going to be on CNN within 3 minutes. Do you want to know why? Because nobody cares about their future within a Trump-run party. They'd rather care about their reputation with the media sources that they are leaking to. Why? Because the media sources they'll be leaking to will still be interested in talking to them by Christmas. Because they'll still need scoops. Donald Trump was on CNBC yesterday talking about if he loses, he's just going to take a long vacation and return to his tremendously amazing standard of living. Which is true. He will. But guess what that doesn't include? Hiring political staffers. Speaking of CNN, I got a Sling TV. I canceled my cable, and I got Sling TV. So far, I've been pretty happy about it. I like the channels that I get. Easy to search stuff. It's amazing and delightful having a user interface that isn't complete hostile garbage, like every DirecTV or cable interface I've ever had in my life is. It's a fun time. But it does mean that if I want to watch live news, I gotta watch CNN. Because I haven't been able to find MSNBC or Fox on there yet. I don't know if it's there. For whatever reason, I've been watching CNN. Which on the West Coast means I'm watching a lot of Don Lemon. Don Lemon. So yesterday, Don Lemon went for almost an hour talking about one of the dumbest things I have ever seen on television. So now dig this, all right? Donald Trump was giving a rally, okay? He's giving a rally in Kissimmee, Florida. If I'm unfamiliar, Kissimmee, Florida is around the Disney World area of Orlando. In fact, you might have remembered as a kid when the Nickelodeon Studios was down there in Universal, there were oftentimes addresses to Kissimmee St. Cloud. That's what we're talking about. Effectively, you are looking at an Orlando suburb. You can get a little seed up there, a little hayseed. Not going to lie, man. It's a bit rednecky. So here's the crazy part, right? Somebody at a Donald Trump rally, brought a Confederate flag. Oh. A Confederate flag? Yeah. A Confederate flag. Wow. And they displayed it. Woo! Yeah. They hung it over a railing, and they displayed it. Well, did they keep it up there the entire time? And did Donald Trump get up on stage and point to that Confederate flag and said, hooray for those brave gentlemen who have hung that Confederate flag? I think it's super great and amazing, and I want to wrap all of my family in Confederate flags and throw them up in great cheer? And maybe put them all on one of those big sheets where we fling my family up and it will all be a Confederate flag and we'll live in a Confederate flag town forever? No. Well, did they just leave it up the whole time? No. Security came and told them to take it down. Well, did they like make a scene? And did they like, punch somebody or punch a security guard? No, they asked him twice and then they took it down. And how long they go on CNN? Oh, probably about on and off for like 45 minutes that I was watching. Really? I mean, how were they talking about it? Deadly serious. The phrase, can you imagine in 2016 that you would see a Confederate flag at a political rally? That was a question. Here's the answer, by the way. Yes. Yes, I can imagine a Confederate flag at a political rally. Yes, I can. In fact, CNN, just a little time management from the Gerbs to you, okay? If you want to dedicate 30 minutes to every dickhead in Kissimmee who's got a Confederate flag, you're gonna need more hours in the day. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Because of course some J.O. brings in his, and then he didn't even buy, he bought it in the parking lot. It wasn't even like, man, I'm going to bring this Confederate flag in there and I'm going to show off everybody. It's like he saw somebody selling a Confederate flag in the parking lot and said like, oh, hell yeah, man, I got to get me my Trump emblazoned Confederate flag. And then he hung it. I mean, it showed. Should you do it? No. Should you be flying a Confederate flag at the local country station's chili cook-off? No, probably not. Should you be driving your kids to school in a gigantic pickup truck with a massive Confederate flag flying in the back of it? No. But you would be shocked, my friends, if you are clutching your pearls at that, how much of that exists in Florida. I ain't saying it's right. I'm saying it's not newsworthy. The private people's, let's just say this. I'm not really interested, considering how many things are happening in this election, with going person by person, wiener penis by wiener penis in the central Florida region, all throughout the I-4 corridor. I am not particularly interested in doing a hand-by-hand poll of what people think about the American flag, or the Confederate flag. I just don't care. And I don't care what they bring to rallies, and I don't care what they hang up. I would care if Donald Trump pointed to it and said, that's a great flag, hooray, Confederate flags. Now here's the story. But just because your camera crew was bored and turned around and shot these people with a Confederate flag hanging over the railing doesn't make it a story, Don. I gotta stop watching CNN. I gotta. I don't know what else is on there, though, and that's like what is covering, like, oh, man, I don't know. People, sling viewers, let me know. Email me, justinrobertyoung@gmail.com, if you know any other way to get through this. I don't know. I don't know. Florida's a weird state. But, there is one thing that we can soothe ourselves. This is a traditional, I mean, y'all might not know. And again, and for those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Justin Robert Young, and I am a proud Floridian. This is like a natural, a lot of people, they kind of like shun holistic medicine. This is kind of more of, a lot of like the big pharmaceuticals don't like to think about this, but there are some techniques that Floridians, locals have kind of come to know and love, and really embrace. It says when in times of trouble, you just you call upon your family, you call upon your friends. You head on down to the Publix, you get a Publix sub. And when you go get your change, you let her know, I'm gonna need all that in one. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is a pole dance. Oh, man, it has been too long since I've been able to do one of those. Pole dance. This is in the state of Florida from the NBC, Wall Street Journal, and Marist poll that I was citing before. The dates were August 4th to the 10th with 862 registered voters, a 3.3 margin of error. Let's go ahead and start. In the rear, ladies and gentlemen, she might be green, but those moves are red hot with 4%. Kill the thrill style. Right ahead of her, please welcome to the stage. He's got 9% in the polls and more than that in his pants. He's big. Gary Johnson. But now to the big boys. 36% for your Republican nominee. He needs this state to win. It is Donald J. Trump. The J stands for just joking. But your headliner, number one in the polls, and about 30% favorable into your hearts according to most recent polling. It is, with 41%, the leader in the Sunshine State. Hildog, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Of course, you can email us, justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. Well, here, let me actually just go back to this. This is, like, of the three battleground states, Trump has to win Ohio, or else, I mean, if he starts going down by double digits in Ohio, you just might as well grab a pint of ice cream and go to bed. It's over. It's over. It's over. Shut out the lights. Go ahead and put the chairs on top of the tables. It's over. But he also has to win Florida. He's got to get them both. You know, he's of the three states, Ohio and Florida are the ones he polls best in. If he starts trailing in the high single digits, I mean, again, man, like, this one just might be a wrap. I do the rap. I do the rap, do the rap. Rap the rap. This election is done. Rapping the rap. All right, here we go. JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com is where you can email us. And again, there might be the possibility that you'll be needing to email a lot more. So please do not think, I don't know if this is good enough. Yes, it's all good enough. Send it always. Make sure you put subject line politics, okay? So I can sort it out easy enough. Glenn writes, just wanted to take a quick comment on the whole Second Amendment solution thing everyone's talking about. I do not believe for a second that the dog whistle that Trump is sending is about assassination. When the Second Amendment is generally used in that fashion among the far right, it's more often referring to armed rebellion, even revolution. This is not a defense of Trump, as I think the concept of revolution is just as bad, if not worse, although I'll say it's not unique to the right wing. But I think it's crucial to get a good understanding of this stuff. What I guess Trump is more thinking of is a bunch of Clive and Bundys taking over the government property along the country, forcing political capitulation. Personally, I think it'll be more Timothy McVeigh's than Clive and Bundy's, but that might be my pessimistic view of things. Anyway, just wanted to send that in. Congrats on the whole BitTorrent news thing. You did a great job and represented our community spectacularly. Really hope it plans out into more stuff in the future. You deserve it. Clap, clap, clap. I'm going to leave that as a dramatic pause. P.S. Up here in Canada, most certainly I know people who voted in the last election based on the 420 issues. Even as someone who is as straight-laced as they come, quite frankly, it's something that potentially could sway my vote as well. So that few things to bring people up to speed on. Number one, what he just said here in the P.S. was that we were wondering why Bernie Sanders voters and Gary Johnson voters can be the same thing, considering that their economic policy is about as far off on either sides as they possibly could be. And then we realized, man, it's about that dank, sticky, icky, icky. It's about that fire, about that gas, about that smoke. Marijuana issues. That last part was for white people. And then the Second Amendment solution thing. So, yeah, I mean, listen, it's a dumb, stupid, off-the-cuff remark that Donald Trump made because that's kind of his jam. That's his jelly. And Glenn, I don't think you're wrong, because I think that is certainly something that happens where when people say, like, oh, well, the Second Amendment people will rise up. In general, in conservative circles, that is like your soldier of fortune, kind of like, yeah, we'll gain a militia and overtake this stuff, which is what the Clive and Bundy people were. So, I mean, man, whatever. It's like, it's not that I'm saying you're wrong, Glenn. It's just that I'm saying, how are we going to know? How do we know what's coming out of Donald's mouth, right? Like, if he doesn't care to clarify it, and he doesn't care to really stop to make it a larger point, then what are we going to do? We're just going to pick up shards of glass from, some broken car wreck and say, well, I don't know, I think it looks like the Mona Lisa. Like, there ain't no rhyme or reason to chaos. And that's, I think, what that comment was. So I agree. And I mentioned this in the mini episode. Like, I don't think he was saying to shoot Hillary Clinton. But at the same time, he said so much random stuff that who's to say that he wasn't? It's chaos. It is a Rorschach. You'll see what you want in it. Ken writes, I'm not a Trump fan, and I think the biggest indicator he'll be a horrible commander-in-chief is that he can't go 5 minutes without stomping on his own nuts. Thanks for coining that phrase, by the way. That's a phrase I love. I don't know if I take credit for it. It's like, thank you for giving me credit for that. I invented it. That said, when I'm inundated with sensationalist headlines like Trump commands his redneck militia to shoot Hillary, only to be left thinking, that's it? Did I miss something? After reading what he actually said, thank you for confirming that I'm not crazy, even though my entire Twitter feed is insinuating that Trump ordered a hit on Hillary. I mean, surely Trump spews enough crazy on his own that no one needs to build a straw man. But it got me thinking, what else is being overblown? The level of discord within the GOP, perhaps? Listening to Newt on another podcast, it seems like they're still good pals. Thanks for deflating all the other overblown nonsense and blowing up things that are trying to slip under the radar. So, in terms of things that are overblown, I mean, like, we just kind of call them as we see them here, but let's just take the infighting within the GOP. What is real is that there is a whole class of people for whom rely on the Republican Party as their job, right? Like, it's not just an idea. It's not just this thing. They go within this party structure to get elected, to work for candidates. Like, this is a whole cottage industry. So the one thing you'll know is that either now or going forward, all those people, they will all have more loyalty to each other than they will have to Donald Trump. Because again, Donald Trump ain't exactly laying down roots. Bernie Sanders was doing a better job of laying down roots within the Democratic Party, despite the fact that he's not a registered Democrat. He's an independent. So that's really what is at play here. When you talk about GOP dissension, Trump said he's going to go out there and raise money. That's a good first step. But in general, you got to kind of be one of the boys. Because if he loses, he's gone. And that's it. And everybody knows it. So why would anybody have loyalty to him? Why would they break up friendships with other people who are in this party? That's why Mike Pence, when Donald Trump's like, I don't know if I can endorse Paul Ryan. Mike Pence is like, yo, dude, like, I need to know this guy. Like, you're screwing up my networking right now. Nate writes, I started out with this election season squarely in the blue no matter who camp, and still find things I love about both St. Bernard and the Hillbilly. Over the past few weeks, though, the crappy attitude out of the Bernie Sanders camp and his righteous followers has pushed me over the edge more than once. I wanted to grab a baseball bat, a mustard-colored summer dress, and a monster truck with which to crush the conspiratorial and ignorant #Bernie or bust baby people. But thank God for Politicsx3. Listening to the show is such a great way to decompress and lessen the stress about all this insanity. Helps me take a step back and realize how ridiculous it is to get caught up in this stuff. Letting myself get inflamed by a vocal minority of irrational people who really want me to push their person's button and trolls is stupid. But sometimes I need someone to point it out. Without this show, I honestly don't know how I would have gotten through this election season without losing my mind. Well, I thank you very much, Nate, and we are here to serve you. It is a public honor and duty to be with you on this crazy journey. I'm curious, because that was an old email that I dug up. I'm curious for you to email back and let me know where you're at now post the big Party Unity Festival in Philadelphia. But until such time as that happens, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up right here. Of course, you can email justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. Go ahead and put politics in the subject line. There's I don't know. I'm so bad. I'm so bad at negotiating things that I can't talk about. I've built my entire brand, and not brand, life, my entire life in having things happen to me and then immediately telling them to you people. What do you mean, you people? I mean, you the video listeners and audio people. Let's just say, this is my only hint, there might be a chance that we would have to change this show from Politicsx3 to Politicsx5. That's all I'm going to say. JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com. Put politics in the subject line. Remember, you can buy The Contender at thecontender.us. And before, this would only be something that I would talk to the Americans in the audience. Not so now. Canadians, British people, Australians, go ahead and hit me up at thecontender.us. Buy a game. Buy an expansion. Here's a little tip for the shipping. Don't just buy one thing. Buy the whole package, which I know is easy for me to say because I make more money on it. But the shipping's the same no matter how much stuff we put in that one padded envelope. So get some more stuff because it's fun. That is thecontender.us. Music, of course, is provided by Valesco and Trop Killers. And, of course, you can follow me at Justin R. Young everywhere. A reminder, everybody, that some shows talk about politics. Others talk about politics. But this is the only show that really talks about politics. We will see you next week.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.